So just keep your mouth shut. Yeah, first thing the people hear is me telling you to keep your mouth shut. That's fucking awesome. All right, we're back. We are doing the second half of the Grappling Idiots Winner Chicken Dinner, Turkey Dinner, show that Matt Kaplan put on in New York. Before we do that, I got to give some shout outs to the sponsors, try to make some money because the government ain't doing shit and my gym is forcibly closed by this communist regime. So first off, shout out to Sean and Schismatic Industries. I'm doing this thing now where if you're a gear company, a small business, whatever, and you want some next to nothing cost advertisement, you can send me some products. And if they're quality products and I like them, I will give you guys shout outs on the podcast and all that shit. So big shout out to Sean. I've been showing this like crazy. He sent me this rash guard from Schematic Gear. It's a very high quality rash guard. And the thing I really like about it is obviously the rubber at the bottom because I am round around the midsection, as is Matt, and we don't want that shit coming up. So there's that. If you want to support me, go ahead and look at this ticker down here, nogination.com. You can get yourselves the Wicked Warrior coffee, all my Nogi Nation gear, basically fuck the IBJJF, these leg locks and mixtapes, rash guards, jiu-jitsu and chill, all that good shit, as well as the Wicked Warrior coffee. And also go to cbdumi.com/Starlord and get yourself some of the best CBD in the game. 1 second. I'm sharing this stuff now. You said William Tackett and
Keith Krikorian, Athos Miranda, John Battle.
That's all. No, too late. I already shared it. But yeah, CBDUME.com is a phenomenal company. Love those guys. They're a great sponsor. So go give them some love. They help the wounded vets. They're really big into helping out veterans and stuff like that. So I'm a huge fan of that kind of company. And, their Godfather tincture is some of the best stuff I've ever tried. So definitely go check that out. Matt, anyone you want to shout out before we get into these matches and shit like that?
No, not really. I do think it's great, though, that you blew the name of the show and started a sponsor in the first sentence of the live stream. You're getting better, though. It's good, kid.
What can I say? I got to give you a platform to spew your stupidity. So before we get going, you want to kind of talk about this craziness that's going on with the government and them changing their rules and shit like that.
It's funny. It's funny because I said this was going to happen, and but the problem is people have never know what's going on, and this is exactly what happened in 2008. And you don't have to believe me, right? Because I'm not involved. You go listen to fucking Jimmy Dore. Emil, I fucked your boss multiple times, so clearly I have a dick. If you listen to like Jimmy Dore or even like Rogan when he has experts on, this is exactly what happened in 2008. They said Obama was going to give all this money, and the only people that got it were the banks. In fact, Congress this time didn't even have to vote for the banks to get money. Banks now can just get money when there's massive recession. There's a word that gets used. I think it's not recession. There's a word that gets used. When that word is used, banks just get their money. What they were voting on were for like the airplanes, Boeing, stuff like that. It wasn't for the banks. And then here's what happens. They tell you we're going to help you. And as Josh just found out, you're not getting any help. And even if you did get help, you can only get help. You have to keep 75% of your payroll. You need X amount of employees. And then at the end of it, they can still decide that you have to pay back all the money and they don't have to forgive you. This is what happened in the housing crisis in 2008 when the housing market crashed. All these people were taking out loans to pay for things they couldn't afford. And then, I don't know, 6-7 months later, the government decided we're not going to forgive you like we promised on the loans. What they're telling small businesses now is we're going to give you these loans. You don't have to pay the principal back. You can just pay back the interest. And now they're saying they don't even have the money, so they can't give it to you. But they absolutely can change their mind, just like they did with student loans when the regime changes. So that's why they always say 10 years. They're like, in 10 years, you can get forgiveness with a lot of jobs. Like if you're a doctor, they were telling you if you're a doctor for 10 years, we'll forgive your student debt if you work in the hospital. Well, guess what? Doctors don't get that anymore. When the regime changed and Trump took over and put that fucking cunt in charge. She wanted to cut that. And they're trying to cut it for physical therapists because they just cut Medicaid. If you have a house right now and you do not pay your rent, it's the suspension for 90 days. At the end of that 90 days, you still owe rent for those 3 months. And if you can't pay it, they will take your house. This is exactly what they did in 2008. 5.6 million people lost their homes. And then the banks who got all this money got the fucking houses back because that's who your mortgage is from. And then they resold your house. So they got money on the front and the back end. If you cannot take a loan out, don't take a loan out. And figure out a way to pay for things. Because you're going to go fucking belly up in massive debt. This is what they always do. It's disgusting. And it's not a Democrat Republican thing. It's a people in charge with a lot of money making more money thing. I hate those fucking posts drive me nuts, bro.
All right. So let's get into some grappling now. Sorry, my dog fucking somehow got like an ornament and started chewing it up. I'm hoping it's not one that my wife liked because, yeah, my animals are going fucking crazy with me being home all the time. They're like, what the fuck? You're ruining my nap time. And they're just going fucking crazy. All right.
You know what my dog does? All my friends find this amusing. When I take her out to piss, she walks like 10 feet and she'll piss like in the little grass of dirt. If she doesn't have to do anything else, she'll walk right back through the gate to go inside. If she has to take a shit, she'll look up at me, and then she'll turn to the side to let me know she has to stay out to take a dump.
Nice. All right, so we are going into, I think this is the second round of the tournament, right?
The second round of the tournament and the finals are in the last one. Episode 4 has Battle in Kerbis. The heavyweight I wanted to give you, this is AJ Deshani and Andrew Solano. Solano is a purple belt under JT Torres. I believe JT is cornering him. He took this match on super short notice because somebody got hurt, and somebody on the card from JT school recommended him. AJ, we saw his girlfriend earlier, Kat Ivy. She went against Cheryl. Yeah, he's out of Pennsylvania.
I'm a big fan of AJ.
Yeah, he's got the
raccoon. Yeah.
Yes. I had never seen Solano compete before. I knew people that knew him. I heard he was like really good, so I didn't have a problem.
Jesus fucking Christ. Are you kidding me?
There's always something.
Hold on. I'm going to let this shit buffer for a minute. You can keep talking your shit.
I mean, I was pretty much done. Don't take out a loan if you don't have to because you're going to owe money and they're going to fucking own you.
Yeah. Pretty much good advice for everything. Don't take out a fucking loan unless you don't have to. Debt-free.
I did undergrad and grad school without taking out a loan. I got paid to go to college. Like, if you don't have to, I tell the high school kids that, and they're like, Mr. Kaplan, what should I do? I said, you should go to college without paying for it unless you need to go to a specific school, like medical school, where that's where you have no choice.
I can't believe they let you teach high school.
Yeah, I got a license and everything.
It's crazy. I still can't believe people let me teach them jiu-jitsu.
So. Yeah, Solano had really good wrestling. You see, as AJ jumped the Connie there.
Yeah. He's controlling that inside pretty well.
Yeah, and AJ did not do a good job of pummeling his feet. He held that half guard, and I am not a fan of half guard. And
he's got no fucking frames either.
No. This was just a matter of time before Solano got past AJ. Yeah, AJ needs to start thinking about what do I do after I get past?
Nice.
Somebody just messaged me. Oh, Jackson. I mean, they weren't big. I think they both weighed in at 50 or 55, but like Solano's pressure looked fucking horrible. Like like he looks like JT's pressure, where it's just like get off of my face.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to get him back. I don't know if he can make 150. No, he can't make 150. I asked him for my 150 tournament. I do want to get Solano. I want to get him someone like good.
So what made you want to do the 150 weight class?
Because it's same day, so 45ers can do it, and so there's no pro grappling at 55 really outside of like a couple of tournaments. Like ADCC doesn't do it. So I feel like most guys that do 55 just don't feel like cutting to 45, except for the trials. Then all of a sudden they can make weight. So I figured 150 was like a good middle ground where some of the bigger guys can cut weight and some of the smaller guys won't bitch about 3 pounds.
Interesting. Yeah, I did 160, and I liked that weight class because I really do think there should be like a 60 or a 65 weight class because there's a lot of tweeners out there. God damn, my fucking peanuts keep falling.
If you did a 60, 65, man, look at that. Again, just that cut through, bro.
Yeah.
He's so clean at that.
I was watching the Taza Lackland match yesterday, and that's something I forgot about Taza's. His knee cut is very fucking good, and same with Solano here.
Yeah, it's weird. Well, I mean, I've rolled with Taza like 1,000 times, so I know his game. Taza's passing is very underrated because he usually pulls guard and plays from bottom. Same with Eddie Cummings. They pull guard and play from bottom, and they forget that they have like good passing. Taza's really good backstep passing, highlight passing. He's not much of a pressure passer.
No, he's a movement passer, and he does a good job going between the float pass and then knee cut, and then come back for leg drags and stuff like that. He's really added a new wrinkle to his game where he's starting to go for those front headlocks and Kimura traps as well.
Yeah. Well, he's always had a good Kimura. His Kimura to the back was his staple, even at when I met him at blue belt.
Yeah.
He got into the leg locks because everybody sucks at leg locks, so he was like, "Fuck it, I'll make money." See, Solano, here, does a good job with the elbow pinch. See, oh no, yeah, JT's cornering him with the North Face jacket. That's good. Just sit front row and corner. I like that, the arm behind the back. Calistine does that a lot. Where he likes to lift hips. But AJ did a good job here of not dying. I remember, I believe I'm reffing this. I was slightly impressed that he was able to get out of that, but he didn't maintain control. Oh no, Mike's reffing. I'm standing on the side. Sorry. Yeah, he didn't maintain control, which was the mistake because Solano took him down multiple times. Yeah, that single was beautiful. And I think when AJ finally got on top, he needed to stay on top and not secede top position again. Look at that reach around crucifix. AJ went for that armbar. See, Solano just does a good job of just staying real heavy with his hips. Which you don't see a lot. Guys in side control, for some reason, never do a good job of controlling hips. They'll go chest to chest and squeeze, but they don't have an elbow on the top hip and a knee on the bottom hip. They just kind of pancake that. Weird.
Yeah, I like to go hip to hip as well and use my also I'm heavier, but hip switch to use my hip to control their hip as well. But you're right, people don't really control the hips too well.
At all. I mean, maybe it's just because I trained at Henzo's for so long, and everyone has those kipping escapes. So if you don't control the hip, they're going to get out immediately.
Yeah.
See, like that. AJ does a good job of not just surviving, but he does get out a few times. This is the third or fourth time he's been passed, which seems bad on paper, but it also means he got out 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, he does a good job re-rolling through to attack the legs on a guy who probably isn't phenomenal at leg locks.
I forgot who I was trying to match AJ with because it was a leg lock guy, and he was telling me, he goes, I'm not a leg lock guy. Just go against other guys that aren't leg lock guys. I said, okay. See, just the 50-50. And now he's down by a lot of points. It's at least 3 passes, mount. It's got to be 30-2 or some crazy number, but we still have a lot of time left, and now he can win because we're in 50-50.
Mm-hmm. Now, were you given points? I think I asked this last time for coming up in 50-50. Do you give 2 there?
No, you have to clear the guard. Okay. Otherwise, it's stupid.
Yes, agreed. Oh, man, AJ he'll hook by 50-50.
Yes, I remembered that, but I knew that would shock you, so I didn't say anything. Because, look, here's the thing. If you want to give points from 50-50, let's say the other person stands up, then you knock them back to their butt. Is that also considered a sweep?
Dude, it's so stupid. Are these the fucking heavyweights you wanted me to grapple?
Marlon Suarez, wearing the future kimonos rash guard, used to play in the NFL. He's a real estate guy now. Marlon's in his 40s. Tom McMahon is in his 40s. Both of these guys still compete in the adult division.
Yeah.
Yes, Tom. I was going to give you Tom in the white rash guard.
Yeah, the fucking giant.
No, I'm sorry. I was going to give you Marlon. Tom replaced whoever got hurt, who I asked you about. Tom replaced him. I believe Tom trains with a big team. He's out in Pennsylvania, but I think he trains consistently with not Cobrinha. It's a big team, serious guys. You'd have to look him up. Tom has a win over a world-class black belt in adult who he was 10 years older than.
Jesus. Couple savages.
Yeah. And Marlon does the local ones at adult too. They're just, You'll see it. There's a part where they go a little out of bounds and Marlon steps on the floor and breaks his toe.
Oh,
And I
Jesus.
said, "Are you okay?" He goes, "There's some broken toes." I was like, "Oh, okay." Just fucking no sells it.
What the fuck is up with people breaking their fucking heels and toes at this event?
Well, Aaron got lifted and his foot went out of bounds on the concrete. These guys, I didn't anticipate how much more mat space this one match would need because they're that much bigger than literally
Yeah.
everyone.
Should happen at my event too. I had Nicky Rod against Chase Rome, Wade's kid. And like we had a lot of mat space, but of course, immediately, first exchange, they end up off them fucking mats.
To give you an idea, Marlon is about Nicky Rod's size, and Tom is just a little bit bigger and a little bit wider. That's how fucking huge Tom is, bro. I met him. I was like, "Hello, sir."
Jesus fucking Christ.
Nobody upset the Wookiee.
Yeah, this is why there's fucking cruiserweight divisions, you know?
Yeah. So with the weight classes, I didn't want to have 90 weight classes too, because then you get into can we do the 45 versus 55 champ, and it gets a little silly. So I want to try to do 50 and under, 170, 200, and maybe an 85. I really don't want to do a heavyweight. I'm not against the idea of an absolute.
Yeah, if you're going to do the heavier weight classes, I think 85 is a good one. I like the 205. I like 225 and then 225 plus. I kind of like the ADCC aspect of it. You know, that 218 weight class is interesting. You know, it lets the smaller heavyweights come down, and it lets those bigger light heavyweights or cruiserweights come up a little bit, you know?
Yeah, I'm going to share this to the Instagrams. That's why I pulled it in. I don't.
Yeah, I got it on YouTube too, so you can do that.
Okay. I had not a good experience with the 200-pound division, honestly, trying to get it in. I was hoping to get more guys, and then all these guys that told me they wanted to do 200 pounds didn't. You know, they were all busy and blah, 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 where if I need to find someone at 150, I can literally get like 1,000 people.
Yeah, that's just the way it goes. The smaller weight classes, like as long as you're not doing like 120 pounds, like 145 to like 165 is pretty easy to find people.
Yeah, and 170 was great too, honestly. It was not hard finding guys at 170.
Yeah, I think 170 has always been like the best tournaments I've thrown, you know?
Well, if you look at if you look at events, the most packed division's always 155, and then 170 is like that close second.
Yeah, that's 77 kilo, and fucking 66 is always pretty big at ADCC too, but 77 is always like the fucking biggest.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean locally, like if you look at even just local tournaments, you know what I mean? It's always that weight. So also you'll notice Mike Palladino fixed the mats during matches, and I told him, I said, "Look, bro, if the mats start getting jacked up, please fix them. We've all had that injury where you step between the mats and like twist your ankle or break your wrist." I was like, I don't want it.
Don't want the stupid injuries. Palladino's a good dude. I like him.
Yeah, I had met him a handful of times, like high and by. One of my high school friends trains with him, and he randomly hit me up and was like, "Hey, do you need anyone for your show?" I said, "My budget's kind of at the breaking point." He goes, "Nah, bro, I'll just come in and help. You need me to rep something?" He goes, "I love the sport. I just want to help out." I said, "Appreciate it." Right there. See how Marlon steps out with that foot?
Yep.
Yes. That was – so you'll watch him do the step, and he gave me like a look. And then he told me afterwards, he goes, "Yeah, he said to me here, he goes, add some broken toes, it should be okay." But then he told me afterwards, he got it x-rayed or whatever. He goes, "Yeah, broken toes." But he played in the NFL, so, you know, broken toes is like a scratch.
Now fucking people are out there like, "Oh, turf toes."
Oh, my God. So this is where this picks up. So the first couple of minutes, you know, the big guy's going to be a little slow, a lot of like pushing, looking for shots. But now, you know, Marlon's a little banged up. Tom realizes that, like, he can get a good level change. So now they start, like, pushing each other. There's, like, a really nice takedown that comes soonish. If I had more mat space, maybe I would find, like, just do a guerrilla tournament.
That's a good idea. My first tournament back, I'm just going to call it the Gorilla Tournament.
Yeah. See, they were super respectful to each other too. Like you see, he was going out of bounds. Marlon stopped pushing, things like that. There's a couple of times where they got to the edge, the other guy pulled the other guy in. Where if it was like 130-pound guys, they would have like tried to like elbow each other in the face and push the guy through a table. Big people are usually secure in their masculinity because they're so big.
It's true.
See, even that,
Oh,
right? Like
so nice.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? Like you never see lower belts and little people do that.
That explains why you're the way you are.
Bro, I've rolled with Marlon at least 5 times. Are you crazy? Oh, he's so strong. He was one of Jason Lee's main training partners when Jason did ADCC in 2015. Look at that nice hip switch.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, even there, he goes, I didn't hit you in the head. He goes, no, we're good. And they go, all right, let's go. You see the black guy sitting there with the jacket next to the guy in the glasses? Mm-hmm. That was one of Eddie Cummings' first coaches. That's Brandon. After he was
see the guy from Long Island?
No, that's Krishna. Brandon's in Queens. He gave Eddie his first job teaching jiu-jitsu. Mm. Yes. Brandon, he's an ex-cop. He can't use one of his arms. He can't lift more than a few inches from an incident on the job. And he inverts, even though he's like 250.
Jesus.
Yes. And he rolls with one arm. And he just rips his steamers. He was Matt Tesla's coach for a while, too.
That makes sense. Tesla just kind of disappeared, man, from the competition scene.
From the world. He just wasn't in Henzo's one day. I think he stayed in Scandinavia. And then
that's what I heard.
Well, then I'll tell you an off-air story. I think he was in Japan for a little while too.
I know he had that match with Cadell in Australia, and that was like the last thing I saw of him.
I didn't even know he had that.
Yeah, he beat Cadell in Australia in some just like
Cadell. Yes. It was like that boring ref decision. I did see that.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. See, I was just teaching that yesterday. When you go to take the back, the head comes up, and you can get the throat. You don't need hooks all the time.
So who do we got here?
Trinity Pun, who won the submission on the shore. She's on the left. She is 16, 15? 14. I'm sorry. She's 14 or 15. She's not 16 because her dad had to do all the paperwork. And that's a Cat Eagle on the right. She is from Pennsylvania. She was also a last-minute replacement because CC got hurt. Cat's good. Cat has a lot of wins locally in Jersey and PA. Trinity won the submission on the shore. She did well in the finishers, too. She lost to, I think it was Danielle in overtime in the semis.
Mm-hmm. Great. Now we're just letting minors beat the shit out of adults.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little different.
I thought this was New York, Matthew. I thought this was New York.
It is. We let women do whatever they want. The thing is, like, with men and then, like, 16-year-old boys, there's a huge size difference. Yeah, but with the women, like, I mean, Kat is clearly – that's a beautiful sweep attempt.
Yeah.
See that shit? Trinity does that in all of her matches. She does this weird –
that pulse and guard type style.
Yeah, this weird – no, she wraps it around the torso. And then she's going to use this to get to the back. It's really impressive, but I don't know anyone else that can pull this off. Yes. Damn. And now she's doing a good job of controlling both elbows.
Yeah. As much as like myself, I don't want to throw underage people in my tournaments. It is very impressive and beautiful to watch them compete against adults and do real well because it just shows you that level of grappling. Even at a young age.
See how they're at the edge?
Yep.
I didn't stop them until the hooks were in because I wanted to wait. And I think, and then I was trying not to touch butts. Like, I went to put my hand, because with the guys, you just smack them. I was like, hip. That's all I need.
In New York, you're going to get sued.
Well, on an underage girl, yes.
Well, yeah. I mean, even a non-underage girl. Come on, don't be a creeper, Matt.
No, that's like jail. Like that's all you need. I remember
in a dungeon fucking in Brooklyn, you're touching women.
Well, there you go. I remember when I first started teaching, I was like 25, and my mom used to work in the building. She's a PE teacher there, and one of the other teachers was fucking with her. She goes, you your son's been like hitting on the student. She's like, I'll kill him. Like she was going on, and she goes, wait a minute. What'd she look like? She's like, white girl with blonde hair. She goes, she wasn't Asian. I know you're lying to me. I was like, yo, that's not funny.
I thought it was funny.
Kat was doing a good job of defending here, clearing the cross grips and stuff. Trinity, she's really good on the back. Like, she's done a ton of EBI stuff, EBI rules, but I don't know. It's I guess, like, because I remember when Nikki was 16 and we would train with him, and like, we would go a little lighter with him because he's just there's not that man strength. But I feel like when the girls, because girls, once they go through puberty, right, once they get their period, it's like they stop growing apparently in 2 or 3 years. So like that like women's strength isn't like really as big a thing when you take a 16-year-old and like a 23-year-old. So I'm not horribly against it, but I really don't want to put like a 15-year-old boy in there with a 35-year-old man.
Yeah, no.
Except Andrew Tackett. We'll sacrifice him to make sure Will's on the show.
Tackett's another one of those that's just kind of like, he's the exception, not the rule. Ooh, nice entry to the triangle.
Yes. Kat did the right thing, but it's just her elbow is just jammed in between Trinity's hips.
Yeah, Trinity's good. I've seen her compete a few times.
Yeah, she's gone against people much better than her and done very well.
Now, are you going to be doing a women's tournament too, so you're equal rights there, Matt?
I wouldn't mind doing a women's tournament if I had enough women to do it with. Like, I don't want to do an 8-man, 145-pound division with all like high-level brown and black belts, and then do a whole bunch of blue belts in the women's division because I can't find, like, if 8 female black belts
at 100
in the same weight class said to me, we want to do it, I would do it. I don't have a problem.
I think you could definitely get 8 women at 120 pounds in the Northeast,
I tried.
Did you?
Yes.
You're telling me that Grace and Danielle and who's that other Henzo chick?
Well, Danielle will never be on my show. Katia would do it. No, I reached out to Katia.
Danielle doesn't like you?
There's a mutual dislike between the two of us. I'll talk to you often about that. You ever notice those videos she puts up of her winning matches and there's like no commentary in the background? It's like the audio's turned off. Yeah, guess who was cornering her? She's wearing my fucking inverted gear rash guards. Anyway, fucking Katia was hurt, so she couldn't do it. Otherwise she would have done it. But the reason why I was able to, I got Kat on the show, AJ's girlfriend, the video pause, Josh.
It's gonna unpause itself.
No, I think you hit pause.
I didn't hit pause. I wasn't even on the screen.
Oh, because it buffered through. It was weird.
Yeah, that's
weird. See, Trinity puts the foot under the hip.
Yeah, that's a tight one. That extra leverage there.
Yes. Yeah, she does a good job of that. The way I was able to get Kat, AJ's girlfriend, on the show was she commented on a thing. How come no women's matches? I said, do you want a match? Because every woman I've asked said no. She goes, yeah, I'll have a match. I was like, cool. You and Cheryl. I was having a hard time getting women.
Yeah, it's tough, man. Like, I used to get a lot of shit because I would tell, who is this in here?
John Battle and Chris Kurbis. Kurbis, I used to train a ton with at Henzo's before he creonced and went to Unity. He was one of the dudes with me, John, and Eddie. Chris had just gotten his brown belt recently, even though he's been training forever, and he fucked up there, and John's going to take us back. Chris is a 2-time purple belt world masters champion, 1-time absolute world masters champion at purple belt.
John is such a savage, man. He's made such big improvements in the last like 3 years.
Yes. Well, John had never heard of Chris, and I said he won purple belt world masters twice and absolute once, and I was giving him the resume. He goes, I want him.
I forget what I was going to say, but I forgot now.
The women's division. Bruce said the same thing. Everyone was commenting on my status. Sam McCarroll, that they comment to the women that put on it. They're like, you guys have no idea how hard it is trying to put a women's tournament together.
Like, I used to get a lot of shit, especially in the beginning, because Zapatero was like one of the few tournaments out there, and they were like, how come we don't get equal rights? There's no women's divisions. I'm like, listen, every time I try to put on a women's division, people don't want to do the buy-in. People don't want to get themselves down there. They expect the world. I'm like, look, I'm treating you the exact same as I would any other man. Like, this is what we do. And they're like, this is biased.
Dude, the one time, it was fucking Danielle. The one time, because Bruce Sack was doing the women's tournament, And he had tried to work with her before something happened, and I stuck my neck out and said, if you book her, she'll show up. And she pulled out. And I was like, thank you for that headache. It's just like, for whatever reason, dealing with the women's is always a pain in the ass, man. Sam had 16 women for the GGL that time. And then it was down to like 5 or something. And then it's like, okay, now who lives upstate and wants to do a fucking thing?
Yeah. And to put it out there, I have zero problems with Danielle. She's a buddy of mine. We play Call of Duty together. So to the people watching, she's good. She's actually pretty good. At first she fucking sucked. And she was like,
I've heard that.
She used to suck and she would like constantly team kill us. Like, I mean, honestly, that still happens. Like, we're running around. She's like, oh, sorry. But then we turn around. She's fucking top of the team in search with like fucking 15 kills. So, I mean, yeah, she's gotten much better.
Yes.
Lola, get out of the office. Go see mom.
Oh, yeah. Chris fucked up here.
I love my dogs, but
Chris does a good job of just not dying in back triangles, but
man,
then there was nowhere to go. So now we have the semis, the finals, and the 3 main event super fights.
Yeah, so now we're moving into the next video, the 5 and 6 page. One moment. There's Battle getting his little trinket, not nearly as happy as Emil.
There's only a 5. There's just one. There's just one left.
Oh yeah. I saw 5, 6 matches, and then I was like, oh, I thought there was 5 and 6.
No, we're good. We're
at
the end here. Who's this? Tim McNamara and Spencer.
Oh yeah. Yes, your brown belt Tim is very fucking good. Like I've seen him get fucked up really quick, and I've seen him have really good matches. But like as a technician, he's like very good.
The Sogi he did, Tim had ACL surgery last year, so that's
he got into a leg lock shootout in that one. Yeah.
Yeah, the second the guy grabbed the inverted, he just yelled tap, and Tim's 38.
Is he? Man.
Yeah, Tim is older than me.
His Instagram is fucking hilarious.
Yes, he grapples is hilarious.
Yeah. Just constantly throwing shade. Of course, he's one of your fucking students.
He was doing that, but he came up. He came up from North Carolina. Yeah, beautiful inside trip. 2016. He was like that before I ever met him. Don't blame me. He's also John's brown belt. Are you saying John is the cause of all the harassment on the Instagrams?
John who?
Calistine. He's belted under me and John.
So John forgot about the fucking interview. So I got him rescheduled for tomorrow at 5. But yeah, I had 2 guys, both Johns, John Calistine and John Combs, both forgot about the interview. John Combs, I guess, has like a real job during all this. And he was like, oh, I forgot to tell you I have a real job. And then John Calistine was just like, yeah, I forgot.
That's good. I mean, he's so busy right now, with all the jiu-jitsu classes he's teaching. You know what I've probably said to John more than anything else in the 8 years I've known him? Write it the fuck down.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if anyone can see this, but I have like fucking whiteboards all over my fucking office. Like, just fucking all I do is put shit on whiteboards because I forget shit all the time, and I'm not great at like when this isn't to sound like a big shot, which I am, but anytime my phone gets noted, like you give me shit for not getting back to you, but I was streaming a church service on Sunday, and my buddy looks at my phone. He's like, dude, you got 70 notifications in the 45 minutes that you were here. I'm like, yeah. And you wonder why people forget, or people don't give me shit for not getting back to them and shit like that. It's like over the course of an hour, I've counted it one time. I've gotten over 100 fucking notifications.
Yeah, no, my phone's really bad like that too.
Yeah.
My girlfriend always thought I was joking about that. And then like sometimes we'll hang out and I'll just leave my phone somewhere and like we'll eat. I'll come back after eating and it's like, oh, look, 60 new messages. And look, it's all bullshit.
Yep. And then I get thrown in group chats with you and other people and things keep blowing up. And
I don't do group chats. Actually, no, I have one group chat on WhatsApp. It is because one of our friends does not have Xbox Live. So when we play games on the Switch, we have to call through WhatsApp. Other than that, see, Spencer was trying to step over, but Tim did a good job of keeping the feet pummeled inside.
Yeah, Spencer's another one of those guys that is like super improved in the last 2-3 years.
The last like 2 years, yeah. When I first met him, he was like a guy that just went for like shitty ankle locks.
Yeah,
and he won or died by them. Yeah,
Yep.
and he won or died by it. Where now he's really opening up his game more and trying stuff.
Yeah.
He's also been sober for over a year and change. So I
Yep.
think when he sobered up,
Sober Grappler on Instagram.
yeah, I think when he legit sobered up, Tim works in a halfway house
Oh,
for
really?
people with people with substance abuse. So initially, I remember I asked Spence. I said, "Hey, I can give you my brown belt." I said, "Don't worry, bro. I won't ref the match. I won't fuck you like if you go against one of my students." But he said to me, he goes, I'm a big fan of Tim because I'm a recovering addict and all that. He goes, I'll have a match with him, but let him know I am a big fan of him. Like he was legitimately like, he goes, these are one of the people that helped me.
Yeah. Yeah, Spencer, like for all the conspiracy theory shit and people saying bad shit about Spencer, dude, he's one of the, like, especially now that he's sober, even when he wasn't sober, he's always been a genuinely good human being. Yes, he's made stupid mistakes and shit like that, but I legitimately fucking love Spencer. He's one of those guys that I would definitely do what needs to be done for that kind of kid.
Yeah, I've never had an issue with Spencer, and you would think because we have like similar personalities that it would just like, but I've never had an issue with Spencer. We've always been very friendly and cordial. And the people that he dislikes, I understand why he dislikes them. So hey.
He does go off the wacko train on the conspiracy theories a little bit.
I mean, yeah, well,
but
it's because he's in Florida,
No, it's because that's him. He told me because I got with Eddie and helped him get on the Combat Jiu-Jitsu Worlds, and he probably would have gotten on there anyways. But after that, he got put into a group chat by Eddie for conspiracy theories. So he's fucking in this group chat with like the tinfoil hat guys and all this shit. And like,
well, he's got to do something now that he's sober.
Yeah. And I was going to say something about this. Like when you see guys, because substance abuse is a huge problem in the sport and in MMA, but when they get sober, yeah, I know, me too. But when they get sober, a lot of people lose that like edge and that willingness to fucking do anything. Spencer's not one.
Oh, wait, you see that? They were in a weird scramble when they reset. Spencer said, whatever you had. And Tim goes, whatever you had, brother. They go, fuck it. Let's just start an open guard. Because that's that. And that just makes it easier. See, you don't have to be a shitbag to your opponent.
Yeah. Both good.
But yeah, it's substance abuse. I mean, bro, Dean Lister, right? That's just so sad, man.
Lister, Munson, fucking all these guys. Like it's interesting because
Glover.
A lot of these times they lose that like craziness that people love them for. But Spencer hasn't lost that craziness even being sober.
No, not at all. Not at all.
That's someone I got to message and get him on the podcast because he's got a story to tell.
Yeah, for sure. Well, there's some. I mean, it's definitely a Florida thing though. There's somebody else from Florida, an esteemed promoter whose name I won't mention to throw him under the bus. There's a lot of promoters were really upset about New York coming down on these events and having like rules and regulations. And a lot of the promoters didn't want to deal with blood testing. And one of the promoters said to me, and he deleted his comment afterwards, not before I could save it because I wanted to tell the other people he works with, this is what you work with. It was something like, you don't need to blood test for HIV, hepatitis, and all these STDs and blood issues in grappling. You can get HIV walking down the streets. And I said, that is one of the dumbest fucking things I've ever heard in my life. Florida. I've never gotten HIV walking down the streets. How about you, Josh?
I live in Florida and I don't get walking down the streets. I've caught other things walking down the streets, but not HIV.
See, Tim just had a shitty toe hold here. We went over this afterwards, because he does it the traditional way to do a toe hold, and I was like, you might pop Spencer's feet, but he's not going to tap. To pop feet, you have to blow his knee out when you do these toe holds. Or
this is a real similar position to Jeff Glover and from EBI 1. They ended up in this position both.
Yes.
Yeah. Hernandez, I think. But yeah, they both got in this position tacking toe holds on each other from this like reverse Russian cowboy.
Sergio Hernandez does this.
This position.
And I remember I was talking to Tim about this, and Tim said he had originally seen I mean, I've seen guys like Sato, I've seen guys do this forever. But Tim was telling me when he saw Sergio do this, it kind of rang some bells that there's ideas from here. I remember Eddie Cummings was deathly afraid of Sergio Hernandez getting to this position somehow in their match and him just not knowing what the fuck to do in some weird funky position.
Yeah. And that's always the thing you got to be afraid of with these unorthodox guys and I remember seeing this a lot in the old Pancrase matches and old Japanese style because they use this position. I don't know if you know him, but Takafumi Hanai was really
Hanai, yeah.
good. Yeah, was very good at using these odd positions here.
Yeah. Time ran out. Spencer won on points. So this was an interesting match. Aaron Harris has his foot taped up. He's going to look to do a leg lock, and Athos is going to look to pressure and pass.
Mm-hmm.
The traditional leg locker versus the traditional jiu-jitsu style. This is the first round of the semis in the tournament. The winner of this gets the winner of Tackett and Felipe Silva. See, 2 points. You saw that, right? That's 2 points.
Because he engaged the takedown.
No, go back.
Okay.
This is what Aaron didn't realize he did this. And when he rewatched it, he was like, he understood what it was. Whack, you can just push forward on the thing. Whatever. And I explained this in the rules meeting, but this is one of those. This was the only time where I was like, the IBJJF has this right. Aaron sits, Althos sits guard, and then Aaron sits from standing as Athos is sitting. Athos gets up.
Yeah.
But it's not a double guard pull. I said if it was a double guard, I'd do that anyway. But see, Aaron still when he sits in, Aaron's still on his feet. Yeah. Some of the people didn't understand where that came from. And then again, when Aaron rewatched it, he understood, and then Mike explained it to him, and he goes, "Oh, he didn't realize he did it." But this was like, yeah. So now it's almost like ADCC, where the guy that pulled guard has to really work, and the guy on top is trying to not die.
The thing I really like about Aaron is even though like he may feel like he got screwed, he's always super respectful at the end and like, all right, I understand why it happened, because he's been on a couple of my shows, and I've been at other shows where he's been on there, and he's always been like that. If he gets like the shit out of him, he's like, oh well, whatever, it fucking happens.
Not only is he like one of the nicest people you'll ever meet, but what's the show? His Mike Wacker threw upstate with
Hudson Valley.
Yeah, with what's his name, Johnny the lawyer. Yeah, Hudson Valley. I was up there, and I saw him like during their intermission, and the first thing Aaron says to me was, he goes, what weights are you doing? You're doing 200 and 150? I said, yeah. He goes, bro, you should get Nick Ronan in the 150. I was like, Nick can't make the 150. He goes, maybe he'll do 200. I said, because Nick had something booked. I said, he couldn't do it. The first thing he said to me after hello, how are you, is he tried to get one of his friends on my show, because that's just how Aaron is.
Aaron's a sweetheart, and him and Nick Ronan are really good friends. They both went over there to Polaris, and Nick ended up winning the qualifier.
Well, when Nick was in college, they trained a bunch of Black Hole. So like Nick knows Aaron and like Wacker and them forever.
Yeah.
And they don't have fake matches. Strange how you.
No, they go at it.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, Aaron wasn't too happy about that reset, but I mean, once the ref says stop, and they didn't have grips, how are you gonna repeat?
It's tough, man.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. Like
it's hard. Ref.
Yes. The only thing I told everybody was, I said, look, I'm just going to be consistent. If in one match I stop it at the edge, I'm going to stop every transition at the edge. If like that's all I can do is just be consistent. There's no other.
And I think that's all athletes can hope for. Especially with how new the sport is and everything changing up. It's important to just have some level of consistency.
Yes, that's all that's important. And some of the guys were like, the way I scored a couple of things was a little different than Mike. I said, as long as Mike did it exactly the same way in every match he refed, I don't care if what we did was a little different.
God damn it, fucking buffering.
It's buffering. Mine's doing fine over here on this New York internet.
Mine's doing fucking fine down here too. It's weird because like I think it's YouTube because everything's kind of.
No, I'm playing it in the background on YouTube, watching it. I don't know.
No. What I'm saying, dude, I got fucking 50 megabits up for uploading here. So, like, when I was at the Fillmore, that's what they had on their fucking Wi-Fi. So I don't want to fucking hear it. So it's definitely YouTube having problems.
So all joking aside, what I was told was in certain places, if they do have too many people on it, even if you have like really good connection speed, it's going to slow down anyway. Yeah.
It does. Yeah, and we had man, it's crazy.
Yeah, move to Miami or something. See, I like that
Fuck
Aaron
man.
plays seated butterfly, like Marcelo, like Eddie and them. He doesn't play too much off his back. He always tries to get back to a strong base.
Yeah. And he's a fucking killer be killed guy too.
Yes, Aaron and Will really wanted a match
Yeah.
because they knew one of them was going to sub the other one. That was
Yep.
supposed to be my main event super fight before the card got tanked. It's fucking
It's a good
Corona.
match too.
Yes. Will was impressed. Will goes, no, I watched him a lot. He's gonna try to submit me. I want that kind of match. I want to have a match where we're gonna grapple.
I'm really close to fucking just saying fuck it. God damn it, another buffer. And throw a behind closed door, sub only, no time limit event with all my streaming shit, but my wife keeps fucking yelling at me.
If you get caught doing that, Josh, you can and will go to jail.
Bro, we're in Florida. The WWE just got deemed an essential business.
Right. You would need to get a
Trump?
lawyer.
Yeah.
Well, that too. You would need to get a lawyer to file a motion and just say, look, we're in the same business as them. So if they're essential, we're essential. You could do that. There's no way they could say you're not and they
I have
are.
lawyers too. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, their only argument is they have to fulfill their live TV contract.
Well, I will go ahead and make a fake contract with Facebook. I must fulfill my Facebook Live contract.
They are $1 billion industry.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like so, the questions with stalling was a couple of the black hole guys were a little upset. They were, and I was telling them to, not Mike, a couple of the guys that were sitting there, because I was sitting in the audience and they were like, isn't that kind of stalling? I'm like, as long as Athos has his hands on him and there's grips and he's moving, it's not stalling. Like he's working. He may not be working super hard, but he's working, you know. It's not like Athos was running away.
Yeah.
See, like Aaron's getting a little upset. Mike does give a penalty to Athos for stalling, though, towards the end when it's kind of like a little blatant.
Brazilians get a Brazilian, bro.
I mean,
but no, I mean, I also understand when you're up on fucking two, like it's on the guy who's down to initiate the action, you know?
Yeah, and like, so like you see how he's sitting and they're still moving and stuff. Like, I don't want to call stalling when there's grips and things going on, because you go down like this rabbit hole of then everything is stalling. Is your stream laggy on your thing, or is it just the way that it's coming in live?
It's just on the StreamYard. The people who are watching it can see it fine. It's just on StreamYard.
Okay. No, because I'm watching on my YouTube. Just looks is bigger.
Is it good? Oh wait.
Now it's buffet.
Yeah, exactly. Fucking man.
So wait, look how much space there was. Hey. I like that Aaron was switching strategies though. He went from open guard, he tried to play some half and Z. He was trying to play some close. Like he was working. I think this is where Mike gives the negative.
Man, negatives are so fucking weird in grappling. Like I agree there needs to be some, but it's such a fine line on what is and what isn't.
Yeah, I didn't do a negative. I give a +1 to the other person because that just seemed like a better idea.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I don't want to find a scoreboard with negatives because that's stupid. I was like, that's more things. Yeah. Oh yeah, Aaron sat without grips. Technically that's not allowed, but he's limping, so I guess just let it go. Fuck it, right?
Yeah, there's got to be something for that, man. Like when the guy's obviously working with a broken foot, it's like the human inside you's just kind of like, oh, come on, man. He's already down on points. He's fucking working with a broken foot.
Yeah, and I think this is where Mike gives the 1 point, or if he didn't give it already. No, he didn't give it already. I'm looking at the scoreboard. He gives it like right around here. He does give Aaron a point because I remember Athos was not happy about him giving a point. And I was like, no, it was this. Yeah.
Now it's fucking
yeah.
Oh.
Right when he gives the point because he's backing up. It's fucking YouTube, bro. But it's weird. Like mine's.
Dude, it is because I was totally fine with Joel. Had no fucking problems at all. It's
No,
just
and we're not lagging. So
yeah. Yeah, it's fucking YouTube. And they keep saying it when I do these broadcasts that YouTube may be experiencing these issues because there's higher demand because everybody's fucking in.
That's annoying.
Oh my God. Elijah saying he can sub all these guys. I fucking love Elijah.
Elijah was going to do this tournament, and then he wasn't. So I was like, okay. Yeah, there's the one.
I fucking love Elijah. And
like I asked him if he wanted to do it. I said, there's a $2,000 prize.
I told him because I'm managing him. I told him to fucking go do it too. But I don't know. I love Elijah. He fucking messages me every day like, I want this fucking rematch. I'll sub this guy now. He's fucking sober and lifting weights.
So Athos wins on points. There was like a weird interaction between them because Athos doesn't speak much English. I think he thought Aaron said something to him, and then it got squashed real quick. But
oh my fucking God.
This is Will Tackett and ADCC veteran Felipe Silva, 2-time trials winner, 1-time silver medalist.
I'm telling you, if this shit keeps happening, we might have to come back and do this later today. I'm not.
These are the matches the people want.
Yeah, but the people want to see it fucking.
No, I'm not disagreeing with you.
Yeah. And this is one I fucking want to see too. This is a good match.
Yes, this had the controversy.
Emil, shut the fuck up. I did let it buffer, and there's a huge fucking. If you look on my screen, look. Oh man, all the way up till 20 minutes is buffered.
So Will got the takedown points. Felipe was a little unhappy because he thought he had pulled, but Will shot. So
Will initiated it, right from the beginning.
and not even initially, but he shot in. So
like right off the bat, he shot.
There's when they go out of bounds at one point, and Mike lets them work, and Felipe wasn't happy about it, but I was taking his shit, so I missed it, and then I had to watch it later, and I was like, of course, the one issue that happens on the show, I'm like in the bathroom.
Just like when I was fighting MMA before every show, I spend a lot of time in the bathroom, so I don't have to when shit's going down.
There you go. See, Philippe's doing a good job with that scoop grip on the leg, like switching between leg locks, triangles, leg lock, triangle.
Emil saying Felipe did a lot of complaining at this event.
No, he was just real unhappy with the back grab.
The back grab?
The back grab. You'll see when he gets Will gets points for the back grab, the back attack, with the hooks. Otherwise, I mean, I didn't have any. Like he was, super easy to work with. I didn't have any issues with him. I just thought he was upset about it.
Holy shit!
Just go forward a hair. That's all. Instead of back, that'll load up the next.
Well, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah. Go back a hair though. That was a beautiful transition.
Are you serious?
You saw that, right? It buffered as you just push back on the keyboard. It'll cut in.
Hold on, I got this.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, from here. He does a beautiful roll
through for the leg, and then he recounters. Yep.
And then when Will put his back on the floor to stop the back grab, he splits to the 50-50, which is the smart play from here. I had seen Will at the trials, and he did well at the trials. I know he lost to Combe, but when his match here with Philippe and his match with Athos, that's when I was like, you know what? In a year when the trials happen again, like he in like 7 months, he got significantly better. In another year, like just getting experience with these world-class black belts.
Yeah, I think as long as he doesn't run into Combs again, he pretty much wins it. I just think Combs is a bad stylistic matchup for him.
I don't know. I think he just made a stupid mistake with Combs and got guillotined. I don't know if he'll make that same mistake.
Well, honestly, I think Combs is just a better wrestler, and I think he's just better at everything Will does. Will's just more transitionary and puts a pace on people. But Combs
See,
does a real
I
good job
think
at slowing shit down.
I think Holmes is better at the wrestling for sure, or at least he's shown that he's better at the wrestling. But like if you watch Will's match with Philippe, and then if you watch him in the finals with Athos, he does a lot of different, not just transitions, but the way he plays the guards. I think his open guard, I think he's changing the way he plays all of his guards and trying to figure out what he wants. I think he's just gonna have a new set of tools.
Yeah, I think if he does a complete change of things, then yeah. But
Yes. I
I don't
think
know.
that's what impressed me the most is when I watched him at the trials, it was like heavy wrestling and top, and then here he's doing a lot of good guard work,
Yeah.
which usually you don't see. Usually these top guys stay on top and bottom guys stay on bottom.
Tackett's quickly turning into one of my favorite competitors to watch. He reminds me a lot of Gary Tonin.
Yes. Just a little more boy next doorish.
Yes.
Man, Philippe's just eating these fucking heel hooks, man.
Yeah, but Will's got zero breaking
He-
mechanics here.
He was upset though, because Mike gave Will 1 point, and Philippe said to Mike, "I'm fine." But it's like, well, he has a fully locked on grip and he's bridging.
Yeah. Man, if I could spend fucking 3-4 weeks working breaking mechanics with Will on his fucking leg locks, like he would be like next level with that shit.
He really likes legs, or at least he does them a lot in comp. Who
He
is their
does
leg
them all.
lock guy out there in Texas? Who is there?
Well, Jordan gets over there when he can, but
Jordan's only been training with them since
it's
after
only
I
been like
told
6
you.
months. Yeah.
Yeah, I showed you. It was his match. Well, now it's maybe a year, but it was his match with Tackett. That's what brought him over there.
Yeah.
So, but who were they doing legs with before that? Because Andrew
No
had
one.
decent leg lock escapes in his match with Jordan. Because
No one did.
Jordan got in 1 or 2 times, and Andrew didn't
They have
get
their coach Rodrigo, I believe, and that's it. Like the big 3 guys out of there are Cody Steele, Will Tackett, and Andrew Tackett. I mean, their coach is a very good high level competitor, but
Is he a leg guy? I know of their
No.
coach. I know who he is and what he's done. I don't
Not
think I've ever
really.
seen a match.
very, very traditional. But yeah, dude, like Jordan's getting next level with his understanding now. Like before, he was just like a very good leg locker because he would go out there flying scissor people and get them inside heel hooks. But now,
Yeah,
I
it
see
was
his
like
technique stuff.
it's like most leg lockers where if they get in on offense, they win, but they don't really understand leg locks. So if they
Yeah.
get stuck on defense, they lose.
Yeah, I think when Jordan got heel hooked by Orchard at Shugio, it really opened up the need to understand the stuff a lot more. And
Yes,
you can
that
see
should never have happened. That should not have happened.
Yeah.
He should not. I mean, I think he can beat Orchard.
I
But
agree.
even if Orchard was going to win, it should not have been by inverted heel hook. Right?
And-
Inverted heel hook?
I think it was an outside. And Jordan told me after the match, he's like, "Man, dude, I just tapped too quick. Like I freaked out a little bit." But yeah.
Well, that's the other thing with leg lockers is they train with they don't train with leg lockers. They are the leg lock guys. So when the first time they get in real trouble by someone dangerous, they panic tap because they've never really been in a spot where it's like, I'm worried about my leg breaking.
Yeah. Ooh,
Look
that
how
was a
Philippe puts down
nice.
that back roll.
Yeah. Ooh, man, this is fucking sick.
When Italo couldn't do it and he asked me about Philippe, he goes, and I looked him up real quick. I said, I know this guy's going to compete. Like, I was very like he's not famous in names, but he should be. Like Felipe is so good at jiu-jitsu.
It's hard when you're coming from Brazil and winning the Brazil trials because they
Yeah.
don't get a lot of love because there's just so many good guys down there that, and it's kind of like
But
it
he,
changes
but here
so quickly.
he won the New York Opens here and the Nogi Pan. Like he's won stuff in the States.
Yeah,
It's
but
just-
you're also talking about shit that nobody cares about, you know?
that's true too. I think what's his name? When they're trying to reset them in a standing 50-50. That's all right, guys. We got all the time in the world. Just make it work.
It's like Nogi Pans and like American Nationals. Like, yeah, you can
Nogi
win that.
World.
Oh, I mean,
Yeah,
Nogi World
even-
gets a little bit of love, but not as much as like, yeah. But like Nationals and Pans are the real thing. It's like you fucking win that, nobody gives a fuck.
Yeah, well, and I think these guys are realizing now. Like I was saying to Ryan yesterday, I said having this was so.
Yeah.
Will was on the back before Felipe hit the concrete.
Yep.
So I wasn't horribly upset about the reset. You know what I mean?
And you also go until the ref says stop. He rotated into the back deeper while he was out. That's classic fleeing the mat. You know, like he was
But
trying to flee.
even if that didn't happen and they would have stopped him right when they were on the blue mat, Will had the back with hooks though, so it would, you know what I mean? It wasn't like he would have had hooks instead of, like, he wouldn't have had his feet crushed. He would have had hooks. Like, he would have had this. He would have literally had this. He wouldn't have had a body triangle. He would have literally kind of had this. So it would have been like an inch away. But it wasn't like a monster. You know what I mean?
No.
And look, what are you gonna do? We're out of bounds. Like, shit's gonna happen, man.
And didn't you tell them before, like, go
Yes.
until the ref says fucking stop? Yeah.
Yes. And again, there might have been a language barrier or something, but he was sitting with the other dude from Unity who speaks. So like, what do you want me to do?
Yeah.
It's like he's a super nice guy, and it sucks that had to happen to him and not somebody that's like an asshole. Like, he's a super nice guy, but like, what are you gonna do?
This is obviously a super fight. These guys are fucking huge, right?
Yes. So Jacob Prussman's on the bottom. Jacob has a win over Emil, and Emil has a win over him. So I was trying to run that back in the 200-pound tournament. Jacob wins the absolutes at Grappling Industry in New York, like, all the time. And on the top is oh my god, I can't believe I forgot his name. Drew Puzon. I know Drew forever.
Yeah.
Drew was fighting MMA like 15 years ago. Like, Drew is he did the PGLs.
I've watched a lot of Drew's matches just from the PGLs and the MMA. And dude, I follow him on Instagram, and dude, he's what, like fucking late 30s, and he looks fucking better now than he ever did.
He might be in his early 40s, actually. He might be Daisuke's age. I needed someone last minute. Jacob's opponent got hurt. I don't remember who he had. And Jay Rags was like, Jay is one of like the nicest people on earth. If Jay ever told me he had an issue with somebody, I'd have no problem taking a tire iron to that guy's head. But yeah, Jay was like, oh, I'll ask Drew. And Drew, on like, 2 days notice, 3 days notice, goes, yeah, bro, I'll fucking jiu-jitsu, sure. Shows up.
I fucking love Drew, dude. He's such a savage.
He has a win in MMA over the 1FC champ.
he did pretty well in MMA, man.
Yes, he the
he did a lot of the Ring of Combats, right?
I think that's right for Ring of Combat. The guy who's in one, if you look at his record, the guy's in 1FC now. He is or was their champ there. And they were telling me Drew took that fight on like fucking 2 days notice or something like that, and he like showed up hungover or whatever it was, like smoking cigarettes.
Fucking wild, man.
Beat the guy like it was a violent one-sided like ass whooping.
I'm looking it up now.
Yeah, I forgot. I think it's the only Asian guy he fought. Because I remember I remember Jay told me his name and I didn't know who it was, and I looked him up. I said, "Oh, that guy."
Is it Ong La Nang?
Yes. And Prussman just did a beautiful back grab, and Drew is doing a great job of not giving his back up.
Dude, he had a fucking fight with Charlie Brenneman too.
Yes, he fought Charlie. Yes.
Yeah, he fought Ring of Combats, and he fought the reality fighting back then.
I fought reality fighting. Those are the days. People don't realize if you live in New Jersey, you're fighting locally at Ring of Combat or CFFC. And the two top promotions outside of the UFC, outside of Bellator, that's not the UFC in this country, we can argue, are Ring of Combat and CFFC. So, like, if you do well in local Jersey, Pennsylvania MMA, and you fight for CFFC or Ring of Combat, you are ready for the UFC.
Yeah, I would definitely say Ring of Combat and definitely CFFC. It doesn't get a lot of the credit it deserves. Yeah, dude, this guy's got a fucking win over Brandon Vera. He just won that 205 title. Yeah, you're right. The Burmese Python.
Yes. But I was thinking of Owen Lang, not even Brandon. I forgot about Brandon. He's super seasoned and just like he's just that guy, bro. And he's always in shape. Like he just shows up in shape and just ready to go. It's crazy.
He never looks in shape either, too. He looks like fucking one of those dudes that just came out of the trailer smoking Marlboros and shit like that. Especially now that he's got the fucking facial hair.
Yeah, he might have been, right? Prussman just got his black belt too from Weiss at Sucker Free, and I don't know if JT signed off on that. But Prussman's gonna do my 200-pound. He's good, man. He's another dude that wins a lot of stuff locally that just hasn't blown up yet. But Prussman has some wins over some legit guys.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, it's been one of those days.
Yeah. I'm sitting here thinking, man, I need to start drinking already.
Yeah, I had my lunch an hour and a half ago, so I'm gonna do that. But yeah, I was
I
super.
need to.
You know, Pressman has a win over one of my students, Dan. He beat him twice. Dan is five. These guys are like 220. Dan is 5'11" and 140 pounds.
Jesus Christ.
But it was funny too. Like when I needed someone last minute, I said, "You want to run that back?" And Jacob laughed. And the thing is, though, he goes, "Bro, like that kid is like the balls on that kid." I was like, Dan just doesn't give a fuck. Like,
oh, this fucking buffering. We were doing so good.
yeah, we were.
Oh, man, I should have gone fucking forward. What am I thinking? Let's get past that point. There we go.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
had him in mount. There we go.
Yeah. Pressman's good, man. I'd only seen him locally, and then like I saw like he won some IBJJFs and some other stuff or whatever it was. And so I'm excited. In my 200-pound, I have this dude, he's a real old school Danaher black belt. I had never heard him, and I had to ask around. He had like 16, was training with Danaher, and then John gave him a black belt a few years later. He was like a phenom, and then he disappeared for 10 years. Came back a couple of months ago and just started winning all these local tournaments, just submitting everyone. And I was like I saw it live. I was like, that's fucking crazy, bro. So like, I'm excited for this 200-pound division. I really want to see how he does with like Pressman. Emil's going to do it, and these guys. So like, I'm really trying to have good big guys, which is hard to do.
Yeah, it's hard to find good big guys. No regard for the fucking jaw. I love it.
Yeah.
Fuck your face.
Yeah, for sure. It was the same too. Jacob wasn't familiar with Drew, and then I sent him his resume. He goes, "Oh, this guy's legit." Just like Keith and Wacker. Keith didn't know who Mike Wacker was, and then I said Aaron's coach, and he goes, "Oh, he must be good." And then I showed him his resume of like just wins, and it's just funny how like this generation of guys coming up have no idea about the generation before them if it's not like Roger Gracie.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Like especially in the Northeast, there was a lot of fucking killers. Like what's his face? We were talking about that took silver at ADCC from
Jerry Rinaldi.
Rinaldi, yeah, exactly. Another one of those dudes that people just forget about.
Yeah, it's one of those things.
I might have to go back and watch a PGL or something on one of these things.
They're on. You had to pay for them. We can watch the one Eddie Cummings when Gary Tonin lied about Eddie's weight and said he was 185 and won the tournament because I paid for that all those years ago.
We can because they were on they were on Go Fight Live GFL.
Yeah. I paid for that.
Yeah, I used to pay for that shit too, but they also have a lot of stuff on the YouTube page, the Nogi Bear or whatever the fuck it was.
Oh, because he ran PGL and then he was illegally uploading it, breaking his contract.
Yeah.
So Preston won with the rear naked. Yeah, so Keith Kokorian and Mike Wacker.
Wacker's got such fucking intensity.
Yes. I was kind of hoping Mike would wrestle with Keith a little bit because I know Mike does wrestle.
Yeah, he does.
But he may have not known Keith likes to wrestle and just assumed Keith was a butt scooter, so he figured maybe playing guard would be easier. Keith's passing is so underrated, but he is a butt scooter, so you don't really see him on top as much.
Yeah.
I was saying to Keith, because Keith does have good wrestling, I said, bro, like if you make your wrestling like world class, this was like after the West Coast trial, I said you have like a year to make your wrestling world class. If you can make your wrestling world class in a year or just like good enough to beat all the shitty jiu-jitsu wrestlers, you can like really like do some damage from top on guys and not have to worry about the overtime rules at the trials.
Yeah, especially since he's got really good front chokes, darces, and all that shit. So it all kind of comes together with that solid wrestling.
Yeah, and he's I talked to Keith. We were talking about some of the wrestlers he trains with, and like I asked him, like, how do you do with them? And he was like, no, I do well with them. He goes, he's just in competition. It's the same with Calistine. Calistine, if you wrestle with John can wrestle. Just he doesn't have that confidence in it anymore because he doesn't do it as much. So it's just like if they can flip that switch of I'm just gonna fucking take this guy down, like the trials would be so much easier for them, especially with the 6 minutes.
Yeah, 6 minutes is definitely not a lot of time, especially when the last three are points. You can kind of fuck around for the first three and then just wrestle fuck somebody for the last three.
Yes, and do nothing. Look at that, the way he drops those hips, man.
Yeah. Good job by Mike there, getting his knees back in, though. I've rolled with Mike a couple times, and he is super
Mike
legit.
rolls with you? Mike has like a bad neck or
Dude,
something. I'm
well,
surprised he rolls with your fat ass.
yeah, last time I went up there and did a seminar, we rolled, and I mean, dude, when I go to people's schools, I'm not trying to fucking murder people, and especially little guys, like we're sitting there playing legs. I'm playing my weird ass bottom game, and he's fucking legit, man. Like he comes after you.
Mike's very good. I kind of stopped doing it. Like when I rolled at a mill at Henzo's a couple of years ago, my body was less broken, so I didn't mind it. But now I'm like, he's even fatter. I'm like, why do I he's like 220, bro. I don't want to roll with you. Like for what? So you can like hip switch and my fucking like knee explodes just from like trying to hold your fat ass up. Yeah. I remember I rolled with Pablo from 10th Planet, Castillo, I believe is his last name, and he's trained a bunch. He's trained a bunch with what's his name that runs Shugio, Phil Schwartz, and he's at headquarters, and like he knows he knows Raph and all those guys, and he's a big boy too. He's like 270, and I'm
never gonna grapple Emil's retarded ass again. I'll grapple Matt tomorrow, but I'm not grappling Emil's stupid ass.
What I was saying, he was like 260, 270, and I was like, we can do one round, and it was like, like. I wanted him to know I don't suck at jiu-jitsu, and like he was like, "Oh man, you're really good," like you blah blah blah. And I'm like, "Yeah, but now I'm not gonna roll for like 3 days because now my lower back and my fucking knees and my hips just hurt, bro."
Yeah.
Like those rolls take like literally days out of my body.
Yeah, I can only imagine how you feel because, dude, I'm 225, 230, and I have the same fucking problems. Like I can't imagine being a little guy and feeling that way when you're fucking rolling with even like a 185er is probably too fucking big for you guys right now.
Like one of the guys that trained me, Serge, lost weight. He's down to like 195. If I roll with him on Saturday, I probably won't roll with him for like 3 or 4 days, at the least. Or I have a guy, Mark 6'4", and he's down to 320. He was like 360.
Jesus Christ.
And he'll just play guard with me. He's just trying to work his open guard. And even me just trying to get around his legs, like it hurts my hips and my knees after a while. And it's like, all right, I'll guard pass with you in like, I don't know, 4 days. Sucks, man. That's why I told Keith likes to do the absolutes. I'm like, bro, like you're like 23, beautiful pass attempt. I'm like, if you get
I forgot how well Mike did in this match.
Yes. And the only thing Mike did wrong there was it's like that old school idea of if the open guard, yes, don't go to bottom side, go to turtle.
Yeah, especially not with Keith.
Yeah, for sure. Look, I had that bad habit sometimes too, just because I started jiu-jitsu in 2009. So that was conventional wisdom then. Yeah. And I know now don't do it, but every now and then, like, you just that muscle memory.
Yep.
And Mike I like how Keith does such a good job of that. Guys buy his DVD, EBI Overtime. He does such a good job of when guys hand fight of just digging and like putting his nipples on the mat to get the arm over the head.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
Babyface Keith.
Yes. Here we go. The finals. This was such a good jiu-jitsu match. Mateus complained about one thing and it had no difference in the outcome. And I get it. You're just going to complain. Athos didn't complain. Athos came up to me. He goes, "No, he won. I'd like a rematch with him, though." I would love to see this match again, actually. This is probably some of the best jiu-jitsu I've seen in a match in a very long time between two guys where it wasn't like one guy like dominating someone.
Mm-hmm.
They sweep each other, I want to say like 3 or 4 times each. They do such a good job of with the open guard and the Ashigaramis.
And what's the main event for this one?
That was Keith and Mike.
Oh, so this is the last match?
Yeah, the last match of the thing. I told you the whole card was only like 2 hours and like 15 minutes. It moved. I was so happy to get in and out of that building.
The dungeon.
It was on the first floor, so.
And here we get to see the way Tackett likes to pass again, where he pummels that foot and he gets real low and controls those hips and still manages to go side to side.
Yes, and Athos was mainly a gi guy before this. He had beaten Felipe Silva in the gi, and Felipe had beaten him in the gi, like in the 4 or 5 matches they had. Mm-hmm. After this, Athos went to no-gi worlds. I think he took 2nd or 3rd. And he's been doing a lot more no-gi tournaments too. So this was like the beginning of him realizing he can do no-gi. Like his no-gi is so, because somebody else said that to me. I said, no, I said, bro, he's been on a no-gi tear. His no-gi is very underrated.
Taka does such a good job of pummeling his feet and stapling the knees and the hips.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, and his gangster lean too, where he hip switches and just kind of leans on you from your butterfly half.
Which I think is the best way to pass. My coach Daisuke does that. Dice is in his 40s and he's heavy now. He's probably like 200 pounds, but he fucking moves like a cat still. And that's the one thing that like if you ask Calistine, who's rolled him a bunch, or you ask like Eddie, they'll like tell you like Dice's like hip switch and like pressure. That's what makes his game so dangerous.
That was smart by what's his face guy on the bottom, not
Otto.
going to this Otto's not going to that single leg X, because Tackett baits that and then he just goes to your back.
Yes. See, even from here, he tries to repummel the feet where it looks like Athos is trying to go to turtle. He's just trying to make space to get the feet back inside. See?
Yep. And now he's going to go through the truck to the back.
Right. So there's a point here where they go slightly out of bounds with this. I give Tackett a point for this calf crusher.
For that calf slicer, yeah.
Well, only because Athos went, he made like the sound. You know what I mean? So like, I tell everyone, move away. We're going to reset exactly how you are. I gave the point, though, way after the fact, after the reset. I think that's why Mateus got mad, too, because I said I'd give points right away. But I did think making sure we reset exactly how they were was more important.
No, I agree, because you can always go back and give points later.
Yes. There is a disagreement here of what we had. And I go to the video camera. There's like 3 resets in this match. And each time I go to the video camera or Juliana had like the perfect angle. Mateus thought he had a knee cut. I said, bro, he had
he had the calf slicer, yeah.
Yes. And my friend sitting in the front row was like, bro, his ass was in my face. They had a calf cutter. And Will's getting upset because Will thinks he's going to get fucked. But I'm not going to fuck you, Will. Right? I said, Bert, I said, give me the camera. I stopped the whole event because I wasn't going to deal with this. All right? I grabbed Spencer's camera. And Spencer's being a fucking douchebag, and he's like saying, "Oh, Poha, Brazil rules." I'm like, Spencer. Well, no, because look,
that's what he does, though. That's what he does.
But look, I'm okay with him being a dick, but just don't be racist with it. You know what I mean? It's the finals. Both guys want to win $2,000. Look, I'm showing Athos the picture. Your arm was here, and then no questions. This is what we have. The arms over the top. So they're like, okay, you can't argue with a picture.
When people want to act like cartoon characters, it's okay to make a cartoonish depiction of them.
But it's not but that's the shit I don't want, though. You know what I mean? Like, because then if they're like, oh, these fucking cheating Americans, you know what I mean? Like,
it goes both ways, man. Like, I think we've talked about this before. There's a well-known history documented in Brazil of arguing with referees from soccer, and it translated here very well to jiu-jitsu, and it's just something you don't see much of the Americans doing.
Right, it's different culture. Wrestling culture is die on the hill. Go, die on the hill.
Yes.
Athos did a great job there of repummeling his feet and not getting his back.
Yeah, exactly. Getting out of that calf slicer attempt.
Yes, and Will re-switched to try to go back to the truck to do it, and he did a good job of not dying.
Now he's going to go back to that fucking lean. Tackett's not a big guy, but constantly having someone leaning on your hips and those frames are very difficult to deal with and tiresome.
No, it's exhausting. I've been doing a lot of that when I go to the gym, abductor, adductor exercises, just to build up the flexors on my hips. Because that's the first thing that gets fatigued. I make my students sit in butterfly with their feet in the people's legs and get dragged around, and they're always shocked how tired they get, even just doing that like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Man, Athos does such a good job of and then the switch to X, because he knows Will wants that back take. Will does a good job of disengaging and re-engaging. And Athos with that frame to not let Will – see, he's not letting Will grab around the back. He's doing a good job of framing. I don't remember if I give points for this calf cutter. No, yeah, I gave it here because it got deep.
Yeah.
Like, do I think Athos was gonna have a broken leg? No. But was it like a legitimate attempt at something? Yes.
Yeah, it is.
You triangle this feed, his arm is through. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna.
And even though I don't think it's a high percentage submission, it is a legit submission attempt.
Yeah, like if you go for a shitty wrist lock and you have it for 2, 3, 4 seconds, that's a point. That's fair. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Athos is single X, man, to all these different transitions.
Yeah, to the single legs and stuff
Now
like that.
I stopped them, and Athos. I said, no, we're starting in this. Even Will knew we're starting in the single leg. Like we're starting in the single leg, guys. We're going out of bounds. You know, the knee is above the shoulder, right? That's how we had this. Like I'm gonna do this as best I can. I don't want to fuck anyone. This is hard to reset to. I'm trying to tell Athos to stand up. I don't think he understood me. And then Mateus did say it in Portuguese, and he understood. It also wasn't helped that Mateus was screaming at the top of his lungs. Okay, but that's 2 points, right? Because he came up from bottom, and then Will goes to the back, or however that was, right? It was like 2 and 2, however the fuck I scored it. Like I just tried to be consistent with it.
Yeah, that's all you can do.
Oh, this. Will said he had double unders. I said you had over under. Wait, no, it wasn't that. Sorry, it was a different. It was a different. That's the other thing too, is that's what Mateus didn't understand. But when I explained it, if you stand up, it's not IBJJF. If both feet are on the floor, it's a takedown. If you go back down off a shot, it doesn't matter if you come from bottom. And Spencer's yelling, "This is why we go to the rules meetings." And I was like, Spencer, like, because look, at the end of the day, Mateus, like, I like Spencer. Mateus would fucking maul him, bro, in a real fight.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. The guy's fucking 200 pounds.
220 pounds. He did 99 kilos, right?
I don't know.
He did 88. He did 88.
Yeah,
so he cuts to 195. He's big. Like, you know what I mean? Spencer's like a $140 soaking wet. Mateus would maul him.
Spencer would make it a scrap. He don't give a fuck.
I know, but why do we have to do all that?
Because Pohada.
Why do we have to do all that? I got to explain to the police what happened afterwards. But yeah, no, this is what I was saying. Like Mateus got a couple of sweeps. Will's get some sweeps. Like they're working. This match was really good. They weren't. There wasn't too much disengagement. They were trying to win. I like how Will baits those wrist locks to off balance. That's what I was saying. His game in this match was so different from the trials.
Yeah.
I really think Will's going to come out with a monster bottom game this time around, and not just be like an okay wrestler with like okay jiu-jitsu, but like a real like well-rounded grappler.
He definitely could too. And the other thing that people don't take into is Will is ranked in the Flow Grappling rankings. If he gets a couple big wins, he may not even have to do the trials. He may get a straight up invite if he gets ranked high enough.
That's true. I don't like that though. I think the only people that should get invited are people that medaled last time, top 4. If you've been there before, or it's super last minute and someone gets hurt. Like when Nikki was there in Finland, right?
Yeah.
Somebody pulled out like the day before. All right, who do we got? Who do we got?
Got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, no, I get that, right? We're in fucking Scandinavia. Like when they were in Los Angeles, they could walk down the street and find 78 black belts. You know what I mean?
Yep. See Mateus in the corner.
No, but I'm saying to Athos, no, you were standing. You can have it standing. Mateus is like, oh, okay. I was like, no, I wasn't gonna fuck you guys. I wasn't, because Brazilians think Americans are gonna fuck them too, because of that weird racist shit between the two of them. And it's just like, no, I'm not gonna fuck anyone. Like, obviously, like as a coach, I'd like to see my students win, and I want to see my friends win. But as the promoter and the ref, I do not care who wins the match as long as the correct person wins. Now, I thought Atos had double unders, and Will was saying we have over unders. I said, and Juliana had a picture. I said, hold on, let me see it. And I immediately apologized to Will and said, I'm sorry, you were correct. It is over under. You were correct. Will came up to me after the tournament and says, Matt, I want to apologize for talking to you during the match. I know you could have DQ'd me. I said, no, that's not in my rules.
He's such a nice kid.
Such a polite young man. I was like, no. I said, bro, and I was wrong. So I was wrong. It's fine. It happens once every millennial or so. I was wrong. What are you going to do?
Do you try to stand them back up there?
No, I did, and Athos just sat down, and Will was like, "Let him sit." I was like, "Okay, he wants to sit. You want him to sit? I don't care."
I mean, he technically had grips. He had an over
He did
under.
have grips. Yeah, he had grips. I don't care. Like he had grips. I was fine with it, and then Will confirmed that he was fine with it. So I'm like, "Fuck it, let's just do jiu-jitsu now."
And here comes the back take attempts. Man, he does such a good job pummeling that foot too.
Yeah, I can do that too. It's not a flexibility thing. I used to think it was. You just have to fall correctly on the outside leg.
Yeah, you got to find the right position for it.
Yeah, when I teach that, people are like, "Matt, I'm not flexible." I'm like, "I'm not that flexible. I don't know who you think I am." Like, Will's 18, fine. He can do things I can't, but like that's not a flexibility thing. So this is the end of the match. Will, man, because Athos kept repummeling, watch Will adjust his passing attempts. He clears the single X the same way, but instead of going forward with like the heavy chest, whatever you call the gangster pass, he stands up this time and does like a repummel with his free leg to cut through the guard. See?
Yeah.
And now Athos is concerned about repummeling because if he repummels, Taza's good at that. He'll high leg when you try to repummel.
Yeah.
So now Athos has to think about like two different direction shifts.
Man, that's a match that would be good. Taza and Tackett.
Yeah, I wanted to do that. I wanted Taza for this tournament, but he did not get back to me. But he was in Europe or whatever at the time.
I think that'd be a good match, and I think one we could do at a reasonable price too.
I know what Will gets obviously because I was paying him. I don't know what Taza gets anymore, but I mean I can't. Yeah, I mean I knew what he got like a year ago, but I can't imagine it's that much higher than it was. Like Taza's super easy to work with.
Yeah, I love Taza.
Good dude. He's like legitimately one of the nicest people you'll ever meet in your life, but he's also super easy to work with. See, look at that. Look at that. See? Now he's starting to high leg. So now Athos is kicking his legs straight to deal with it.
And this is how he enters the truck too.
Yes, but see, look, as Athos kicks his legs straight, Will goes back to heavy passing and shortens his legs.
Yeah.
That was such a clean back take. That was such
crowd going wild for that shit too.
Yes, that was such a smart and strategic move.
Did he tap there?
He tapped him, yeah. Athos tapped. Yeah. He tapped him.
Yeah.
He caught him in the neck. That was such a smart move of get him to keep his legs short, get him to put his legs long, and then as he goes back to being short, I can go long. It was such a like an experienced move. And he's so young that
that's a pretty fucking good show, dude.
I'm trying.
Yeah. So 200 pounds is next, 200 and 150?
I'm doing two. I'm doing 150 and 200. Bro, the 150 confirmed I had Keith. John was going to do it, but then he got hurt, and then Keith got hurt. Emilio Hernandez. Richard Alencar told me he could have done it, just not the date. Pedro Serrano said he can do it, just not the date. They both said let him know when it moves. Andrew was in that. Jordan wanted to do it, but then he was afraid with the 8-man. There was too much chance of him and Andrew, but if I make it a 16-man, he might do it. Davila was in it. Bro, I had all these guys, and then just coronavirus.
Coronavirus fucks everything.
Yes. I'm trying to get Jeremy Skinner in from Australia, but now he may not have even like the sponsor money he had before.
It's gonna be tough. All right, bro. That was a good time.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go drink.
Yeah. Have fun. Who do you have on later? Don't you do like an interview at like 7 or something?
No, I did my interviews early today. Tonight I have my class at 7 p.m. Corona camp, and then I'm gonna go on the Third Ghost Grappling podcast at 9 p.m.
Oh, that's what you're doing. You're doing the Third Ghost. Gotcha.
Me, Ryan, and Seth.
Got you. Who do you have on tomorrow for the interview?
Tomorrow I have Calistine, if he doesn't forget, at 5 p.m. I'm going to do some match study in the morning, followed by, evening class at 7. Thursday, I have Billy Tutko from Tutko Tactical, going to go into some of his stories from the military in there. And then Friday, I don't remember who I have. It's not on my board. I think, I left Friday open because I might be having a big interview Friday.
Nice. You didn't do anything last Friday. I was like, oh.
No, because fucking Combs forgot he had a job. Yeah, so I got my shit set straight this week. I'm going to text Calistine once we get off and remind him about tomorrow, and we'll go from there.
And then make sure you text him in the morning and remind him tomorrow morning. And then about an hour before you have to go on, make sure to remind him again.
Yeah, maybe you should do that.
That is not my job anymore, sir.
All right, Matt, I'm gonna let you go, or at least we're gonna end the broadcast, and then you can tell me those off-air stories.
Yeah.
And we are